SmackDown this week came from the Staples Center, and it was a very fun show. You could say it was electric. Unless, of course, you're Paul Heyman, and I think things may have just got very complicated for you, Mr. Walrus. Anyway, this is things you might have missed, and before we get started, make sure you like the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We started off this week's show with Sami Zayn in a wheelchair. He had male nurses, and of course Paul Heyman came out confronting Sami Zayn, as Sami Zayn basically wanted to sue everyone after last week. And obviously Sami Zayn stood up. Sami Zayn was sick of Heyman taking his spot, and of course, just like Linda McMahon did to Vince McMahon, he plucked up the courage to stop it, to stop the travesty that Paul Heyman was putting against him. And no one could save Paul until Brock freaking Lesnar came out. What? Oh my god, I love this. With Brock and Heyman in the same ring together, well, what could go wrong? Honestly, Heyman looked like he saw a ghost, and it was kind of weird, to say the least. Brock sat down and almost made a friend with Sami Zayn. They was going to go hunting together. That legit nearly happened. We could have got a promo of Brock and Sami hunting. Why? Well, obviously, Paul Heyman didn't like that. Heyman fired up Brock Lesnar. This is really, really key here. It was like he wanted Brock to snap. He even said that Brock was a future WWE undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion. Is that a sign that he's turning on Roman Reigns? It worked. Brock Lesnar snapped. Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of Sami Zayn again. We could look at this and say, maybe Brock Lesnar is still being controlled by Paul Heyman. Maybe that connection is still there, because look at Heyman's face. Heyman, seeing the dominance and the destruction that Brock Lesnar delivered, actually spiced him up. It made him look like that. But I have to give a shout out to this guy with the spoiler sign who says that Paul Heyman will turn on Roman Reigns at day one. Believe that. Honestly, to go to that level to bring a sign to an event, genius. Absolutely love it. This was then added extra fuel to when Brock Lesnar went backstage and was interviewed, and when he was asked about doing what he did, he asked Kayla to ask his advocate, Paul Heyman. Oh boy. Xia Li debuted tonight. Honestly, this was absolutely brilliant. WWE could have struck gold with Xia Li, that's for sure. They gave her a really cool entrance, very reminiscent to those promo videos she's been having. Very unlike anyone else on the main roster, so that's very cool. Obviously, the whole electric CGI, I honestly thought it looked amazing. It probably doesn't translate well in the arena, but of course she came out to help Naomi. Well, we thought that, and she did, attacking Sonya Deville, Natalya, and Shayna Baszler, paying respect to Naomi, Naomi doing the same back. Nice to know Xia Li is a babyface on the main roster. WWE seems like they have a big plan for her. To give her that big of an entrance, to give her that big of a night, that big of a moment is cool. And of course, Xia Li already has 2 new t-shirts available on WWE Shop. Obviously, her debut was advertised in advance, so they got them out nice and early. Also worth noting, Sonya Deville had a new theme song and new ring gear this week. The ring gear looked amazing. Honestly, it's really hard for me to remember the theme song. I was more impressed with Xia Li, I can't lie. That took my attention away. Pretty much everything else, forget about it. Drew McIntyre paid a visit to Adam Pearce this week, obviously upset he was not in the Battle Royal, and he stabbed his desk. He put his sword in his desk. Now, this was really stupid of Drew McIntyre, I can't lie, because Drew McIntyre lost a sword. Like, these are swords. Swords are expensive, okay? And Drew McIntyre lost it because he left it in the desk. I don't know. But something people may have missed, because I didn't see many people talk about it, was what Adam Pearce actually said. He actually said that it wasn't his decision, that it was a higher power, higher authority that did that. Are we getting a new authority figure? Is there someone else pulling the strings? Is someone else trying to screw Drew McIntyre? We know Vince McMahon's been on Raw quite a lot recently. He hasn't made an appearance on SmackDown yet, so maybe not Vince, but how about Nick Khan? There's been a lot of talk about Nick Khan taking over from WWE's Vince McMahon eventually. I wonder if Nick Khan's got the grapefruits. I don't like this guy, and I personally don't want to see him on TV, but that's the point. A heel authority figure should be hated, and I think it could work. I could make really interesting TV. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And there's no way I could not include pictures of Adam Pearce trying to take the sword from the desk. I loved it. But of course, he was also backstage when he was confronted by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was very, very nice to Adam Pearce. But the big thing from here is Brock Lesnar had a flip phone. A flip phone. It's 20... I'm surprised he still gets coverage. Honestly, I am. But the main thing is the TVs. Why did WWE put a TV in front of a TV? Honestly, I've got no idea. Now, you may have missed this yesterday. Rey Mysterio vs. The Darkness was officially announced by Cartoon Network. This is a whole new animation based on Rey Mysterio. Now, I watched the announcement. They actually broadcast the first episode during that premiere. You know what? It was actually really good. I don't think I'd sit and watch it. Personally, it's not targeted towards me, though. But honestly, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. It's a very cool tribute to lucha wrestling with a bit of superhero-esque kind of character to it. And I like it. The main plot is Oscar is a fan of Rey Mysterio, and he gets to team with Rey Mysterio to fight evil. How cool does that sound? Rick Boogs and Nakamura were successful in tag team action tonight, but did you notice Nakamura's left wrist was actually bandaged up? It was actually in a cast of sorts. I hope Nakamura's okay. Dude's been killing it recently, so it'd be fun to see him back to full health. Hopefully he didn't do much in the match, so hopefully he is okay. We got a new crowning moment for King Xavier Woods on this week's SmackDown. There was rumours that Xavier Woods was going to get his own custom-made crown, and it looks like WWE allowed him to do that because he got it. My God, it's massive. Notice the big X on the front. Obviously, Xavier makes tons of sense when you think about it. And honestly, look at the size of it on his head. It's almost bigger than his head. I love it. Do you know what? I'm sure there's a gaming reference in there that goes over my head at some point. I'm sure, knowing Xavier Woods, there is. Honestly, I thought it was quite cool. Did you notice during Drew McIntyre and Sheamus' standoff as well, before their started the wrestling match, that Sheamus actually teased Drew McIntyre, taunting him, doing his pose with his shillelagh, with obviously what Drew would do with his sword, because Drew left his sword behind. Now, if you went to this week's SmackDown, you could have picked up the SmackDown exclusive I Was There Kind of Moment t-shirt, and honestly, it looks kind of cool. Although the second advertising for it is a little bit sketchy when you notice that they covered up Jeff Hardy. Oh boy, that's not good. WWE are pissed. Who is the best tag team in the WWE? Of course, RK Bro making an appearance on SmackDown tonight. Riddle has literally done all 3 shows this week, by the way. Just put that in there. We also got this amazing artwork. I love this SmackDown artwork for RK Bro, so happy for that. Put more Raw stars on SmackDown so we can see them in this artwork, please, WWE. And fans voted on Twitter who was the best tag team throughout the night. And of course, RK Bro was actually in the lead just before the match started. And of course, this was a really fun main event. You know what? I liked it. It wasn't worth anything, really. The title, who's the best, is a little bit silly when you realise then that it wasn't one of the tag team champions that won it. But the pop and the hype for Randy Orton, man. Honestly, that was great to see. Randy Orton is a living legend, without a doubt. This guy is so over. Of course, it was the New Day who won. But that's obviously to set up New Day, Usos more for day one. Makes perfect sense. I'm okay with it. Xavier Woods getting big moment tonight with the crowning and stuff. All good to me. But that was SmackDown tonight, and I really enjoyed it. The best moment of the night for me, for sure, was Xia Li's debut. I thought that was great. I give SmackDown a pretty solid 8 out of 10. It was a really fun show. Let me know what you thought of SmackDown in the comments section down below. Follow me over on Twitter at CWrestlingUK. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check out one of the 2 videos on screen now, and I'll see you next time. Peace!